chair. The Pixel phone is one of the most exciting phones of 2019, and I really want it. But there are a lot of things that are frankly in the way of that happening. And Google themselves are one of them. Why? Before we do start, we first need to understand the two kinds of Google that there are when it comes to releasing hardware, because there are two. And what I mean by this is by their release strategy, or at least the plan that they have set out for how the device is meant to be. First, we meet the Nexus Google, and then there is the Pixel Google. The Nexus Google is the Google that release hardware when they partner with LG, Samsung, Motorola, and other third-party manufacturers that just make Android phones. LG, yo buddy, what's good? Yo, you want to make me a phone? Basically, that's how they did it. They just said, follow this plan, and then make us a phone. We'll put our latest version of Android in there, and we're good to go. Hey, we're Google, the creators of Android. We are only a software company, and right now, all we want is to set a standard, set basically a baseline for others to follow. That's what is known as the Nexus Google. Ah, shit. Basically now, move into more recent years, and we got the Pixel Google. The Pixel Google. Google basically realized that no longer did Samsung and other companies, they don't really need the guidance of Google. They don't need Google to tell them, oh, this is how we want Android to be. Google basically didn't need to push them because they were already doing great things on their own. No longer was Google making a phone for the entire Android market. It was making it for themselves. Now they were just focusing on making a phone that they could sell. You know, one would argue, I guess they're trying. Now Google basically moved into that strategy rather than trying like give an example to other Android makers. And you know, many could say this is a good thing, and I agree. I know back then everybody loved the Nexus phones. At the same time, I got even more excited when Google announced that they were making their own branded phones. Phone that was from Google, by Google, for the customers. And I was excited for that. But with this came a lot of let's just call it bad decisions and a lot of bad moves, I guess you could say. There's a lot of consequences basically with this new change in strategy. I'm gonna give a lot of credit to where I got this whole idea about the Nexus Google and the Pixel Google to a video I found on Chrome Unboxed on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel, and they talked about this pretty well. Like, I might even link it if I don't forget.
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help with that. I'm still learning.
That's still fucking creepy. I can't talk about Google in this room. Without that happening every so often. We have phones like the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 3, which always seem like they're outdated, lackluster in specs, and just don't have a lot of crazy new things. Like, there have been exciting things like the camera. Everybody on Android and on smartphone photography period, including iPhones, know that Pixel phones have pushed the camera capabilities of phones. A good example is how Night Sight became popular all of a sudden when Google released it with the Pixel 3. A mediocre phone at best, but still with a great software feature that basically revolutionized night mode, and even to the point where iPhone themselves had to include it this year with the iPhone 11 Pro. The Pixel phones don't always aim to look the most futuristic or have all the bells and whistles like Samsung does. And I guess that's the problem for a lot of people. For me personally, I'm excited for the Pixel 4 for the simple reason that it prioritizes function over design, in a sense. I still think the Pixel 4 looks great, and I know it doesn't look the most bezel-less or the most high-tech phone, but it has a lot of functions that just are great. It has the whole face unlock feature like iPhone, the Soli radar. I mean, this may seem gimmicky, but especially since such a sophisticated technology. Basically, if they implement the software and the use cases for solely, it can be a great thing. But yeah, Google has always had great cameras. They have a new improved version of the Google Assistant, and among many other features. Those are just the ones I can remember right now. This year, finally Google decided that, you know what, maybe we're gonna try a little bit harder. Instead of looking futuristic with all the smallest vessels and the curved glass, and just for the sake of making it look futuristic, Google decided, let's just make a phone that is okay looking, and I think it is, and that has a lot of functionality. Hey guys, this is me post editing, and I guess I just want to jump in and kind of like summarize everything else, because I did go on for a while and I got tired of editing. So just to wrap up everything, I said that yeah, the Pixel 4 was looking up really well with all these features, but on previous years with the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 3, they were plagued with a lot of bugs, a lot of software bugs, a lot of issues with the screens on the Pixel 2, and the prices just kept getting higher for both of them. So for the Pixel 2 increased from the Pixel 1, and for the Pixel 3 increased from the Pixel 2, and both the price increases were not really anything that was worth it. The designs were outdated and they always looked like they were behind. So it just wasn't a good strategy for Google to increase the prices on a line of phones that just wasn't getting any better, and people would argue that it got worse. So people were not going to pay premium for a phone that didn't feel premium, obviously. And now skip to 2019, Pixel 4 is about to release, and Google just doesn't have the reputation of a good company that makes phones like Apple and Samsung. Like, those companies have their fan base because they make solid phones, and Google just hasn't really nailed it yet. The closest they've been to is the budget Pixel 3a and 3a XL, but that's a budget option, that's not premium. And if Google wants to prove themselves in the premium arena, they have to price the phones right. They can't go with phone that starts at $900, or I would even argue $800. Google has to start with something that is competitive with the iPhone 11 at $700. If the Pixel 4 starts at $700, I think the Pixel 4, especially with all the leaks that show how it looks and everything that has, I think the Pixel 4 seems to be a decent phone, and at $700 it will do great. And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm personally trying to get it. But if the phone is higher than that, the chances of that happening this year, along with many other people, is just going to be bad. I know a lot of people who get the phone, but if this happens, along with me, I don't know if we're going to be able to get it. So Google, to wrap everything up, I know you're not listening, but let me just pretend like you are. If you want the Pixel to sell, just please price it right. $700 would be amazing. $650 will be ideal. And anything above that would just start to slow things down for your sales. So if you want a phone that sells, just do that and you'll do great. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, subscribe and share the video, I guess. And I guess tomorrow is Pixel Day. So peace.